Hello there. I'll be doing my final project on the French community. History of France. The history of French people dates back thousands of years and is shaped by a mix of Celtic, Roman, and German influences. Before France existed as a country, the region was inhabited by Celtic tribes known as the Gauls. In the first century BCE, the Roman Empire conquered the area under Julius Caesar, bringing in Roman culture, which led to the French not really having their own identity. So they adopted Roman languages, roads, and governments, things of that nature. Over time, Latin influence blended in with the local languages and developed into French. After the fall of the Roman Empire, German tribes called French took control of the region. The name France comes from France, as you could probably tell. One of the most important early rulers in France was named King Clovis, who brought Christianity to France and Catholicism, which is still a very prevalent part of French culture to this day. And during the Middle Ages, France became one of Europe's strongest kingdoms, as you probably know, and played major events and roles in the Hundred-Year War against England, which is pretty much evading to my next point, and why, if France is like this big bad country, would people migrate anywhere else? And that's because of the England War. So people came to Stark County and Devon County, which are the two pictures you see here. And here are the first places in France in Cleveland. Some of the biggest restaurants named Liberata Barassi. The bar, it opened up in 2008 in Cleveland's University Circle neighborhood and was founded by Zach Brule, a well-known Cleveland restaurateur. A restaurant created bringing in atmosphere, a cuisine, and French to Cleveland and focus on French cooking and ingredients to be elegant and comfortable dining scenery. And then the next restaurant you see in the mirror is named La Ville Le Mer. It reflected Cleveland's growing interest in international cuisines as people from Cleveland wanted to try different foods instead of just regular American things. As Cleveland entertainment scene expanded in 2000 and 2010s, restaurants like La Louvain Lamar came an important movement toward more unique dining experiences that celebrate global influences. Instead of functioning as only a restaurant, it also was a social and nightlife center where people could have fun, or you and me and some of our friends could come out and just hang out, eat food, and feel like a big hangout group. The last restaurant is La Petite Triangle Cafe, which is pretty nice. Been there myself. It is a French-inspired cafe located in Cleveland, Ohio City neighborhood. The cafe was created to bring in atmosphere and tradition of Parisian neighborhood to Cleveland, with casual dining, coffee, pastries, and like French style meals that can be enjoyed by anyone. Its name La Petite reflects the cafe's influence in smaller, intimate setting design, encouraging conversation and community. The cafe, part of Cleveland growing international food scene, Ohio City, develop more restaurants. So now that's why you see more French restaurants all across Cleveland. And this is French Cleveland today. As you can see, there's still people out there who are French protesting and wanting more things for France. And if you can see the picture in the middle, all the green dots are like white people, blue dots are like African Americans, and the small purple dots are France. Which you can see there are very few and far between in Cleveland, but there's still some out there, which is why I'm making this assignment. And here's a big place in France today. Well, big places in big French places in Cleveland today. The French Cultural Garden, which is one of the many gardens that make up Cleveland's cultural gardens of Rockefeller. The cultural garden movement began in the early 1900s, a way to celebrate the immigrant community's diversion, helped shape Cleveland. The French Cultural Garden was created to celebrate French's contributions in philosophy and art and science, as paying homage to respect that French culture has had on Cleveland and the United States as a whole. It's located in Martin Luther King Boulevard. The garden features amazing, beautiful landscapes that are important to French historical figures. Like other cultural gardens, it was designed not only as a beautiful place, but also as a symbol of peace, international understanding, and cultural appreciation, or The garden became especially important during the 1930s and 40s as Cleveland prompted unity among its many immigrant population. Although population in Cleveland was smaller than in other ethnic groups, French remained throughout the region education system and very popular. The French Culture Gardens continues to preserve its heritage by giving visitors a place to learn about the French community. The next place is a beautiful restaurant named Edwin's that was founded in 2013 in Cleveland Heights by Brandon Krozowski. The organization was created with the goal of combining high quality French dining with social mission focused on helping formerly incarcerated individuals rebuild their lives through culinary training and hospitality. The owner believed that providing education systems, job skills, and support would reduce the repeat of others being reincarcerated, which I think is a beautiful thing. The restaurant was inspired by traditional French culinary schools, fine dining, emphasis on discipline and professionalism, the classic French cooking techniques in students and programs, free training in cooking, restaurant, wine education, hospitality. Over time, Edmonds expand beyond the main restaurant, include additional dining locations and training programs. And there's a French bakery here that we'll talk a little bit more about soon. And as you can see, this place like here, Live in Le Marine, we talked about here, is the Cleveland Museum. We have a lot of famous French figures. And here at JCU, we have a lot of French exchange students that come through and study abroad here. Here's the interviews. I went to the French bakery in Cleveland and I interviewed this guy named Andres Almo, as you can see in the picture there. As I visited, we talked about how the owner explained that the bakery was created to bring authentic French baking traditions to Cleveland and to give people experience of neighborhood bakeries similar to those found in France. They said of the recipes used in the bakery inspired by traditional French methods focus on ingredients, handmade pastries, and careful preparations. During the interview, I asked what typical day in the bakery looked like, and he told me that workers begin very early mornings preparing bread, croissants, pastries, and desserts. So everything is fresh whenever the customer arrives. They said one of the most popular items is the butter croissant because customers enjoy a flaky texture with authentic taste. And he also told me that French baking often requires patience and precision as they are very hard to make. I also asked what made them choose Cleveland for their bakery because, they're French or they're trying to like imitate French. And he said Cleveland has become a culturally diverse culture over the years, and French like culture isn't properly represented here as there aren't many French restaurants or like hangout places, which is one of the part of the reasons why I wanted to make this assignment. The interview helped me better understand how the food business can preserve culture and also bring communities together. I learned that French bakeries are not only place to buy food, but also a place where people can experience another culture. And for my second interview and last one, I went to the Cleveland Cultural Garden, and the guy said we couldn't interview in person, so I see a picture over the Zoom. His name's right there, Lucas Vast. So when I visited the French Cultural Garden, I was like, wow, this place is amazing and beautiful. And during the interview, I asked about the purpose and history of the garden. The volunteer explained that the French Cultural Garden was celebrated in the contributions of French culture, literature, and philosophy, while recognizing French influence in immigrants in Cleveland. They said the garden is a part of the larger cultural gardens in Cleveland, which were designed to promote peace, understanding, appreciation among cultures in different cities. I asked what volunteer usually notice first when they say come to the garden, and the volunteer explained to me that many people are drawn to the statues, landscapings, and beautiful artworks imported by French thinkers and writers. They also mentioned that the garden is meant to be both an educational and peaceful, giving visitors a place to reflect on French history and culture. When I asked why the garden is important to Cleveland, the volunteer said cultural gardens represents the city's diversity and immigrant history, just like the last one I interviewed. They explained, though, that the French population in Cleveland is smaller than some other immigrant groups, which we already established. French culture still holds major influence throughout art, education, religion, food, and language here. One thing I found interesting during this interview was learning how the gardens bring different communities together in one shape space. The volunteer explained that people of many backgrounds visit cultural gardens, making a symbol and unity, cultural pride in Cleveland. Overall, the interview helped me understand how French cultural gardens preserve history and also cultural appropriation to this day. These next few slides are just so you can see all the sources I use. Oh, yeah, and that's pretty much it. But all in all, I'm so glad I did this assignment. I didn't really know about the French community before, and it wasn't my first option, but I wanted to be different and do something that I didn't think many people others would do. So that's why I picked France, and I'm so glad that I picked them because now I want to learn more about the French community, and because I have a lot of French friends in here, and I watch like a lot of soccer, which is France is a very good team there. So this is definitely going to make me explore the French community more. Thank you so much.